As the crisp November morning dawned, the sharp sound of the bugle echoed across the grounds, awakening the students from their slumber within the stark quarters illuminated by bluish-green lights. With disciplined precision, they rose, passed their morning inspection, and lined up for breakfast, gaining energy for the day's activities. Soon, the familiar sights of the notable holes adorned with red, white, and blue lights loomed ahead, hinting at the rigorous training that awaited them. The sergeant's voice cut through the morning haze via the intercom, announcing that the entire school would embark on a special holiday decoration project, emphasizing the importance of teamwork in achieving their goal. The air buzzed with excitement, a stark contrast to the usual military routine. The teacher, crisp and sharp in his soldier's uniform, radiated enthusiasm as he shared the details of the upcoming project. Students, intrigued by the prospect of creativity amid their structured environment, eagerly sought specifics. One curious soul queried, "What are we decorating?" The teacher's eyes glimmered with a spirit of festivity as he responded that the decorations wouldn't just celebrate Thanksgiving, but would also prepare them for the winter holidays. Proudly, he revealed an array of lights, inviting the students to share their color choices. A chorus of colorful ideas flowed as the students expressed their plans to use blue, green, and red lights, each hue holding the promise of a vibrant celebration. When the teacher introduced the concept of cool white, the students were captivated, their imaginations ignited by the chance to explore this unique shade. With playful authority, the teacher directed them to adjust the lights, changing their mode to all white, to reveal the enchanting effect of cool white lighting. Anticipation filled the room as one student adjusted the switches, carefully balancing the reds and greens to achieve the desired hue. The instructor smiled broadly, pleased with the students' initiative, and shared that the cool white would illuminate the lower walls, transforming the space into a wintry wonderland. Every student looked captivated by the unfolding transformation, eager to learn how the blue lights would grace the ceiling, casting a serene glow that would merge beautifully with their creative vision for the festive display. As the teacher commanded a sharp 10 hut, the students scrambled to fetch their supplies, their hearts racing with the thrill of channeling their hard-earned discipline into a project that celebrated togetherness and creativity. In a classroom where discipline often overshadowed creativity, a transformation began as the teacher, dressed in a sharp soldier's uniform, addressed his eager students. He encouraged them to set aside the drills of rigorous lessons, inviting them instead to embark on a journey of imagination. "I would like for y'all to write your own stories," he expressed, fostering an atmosphere of exploration and personal expression. The students exchanged curious glances, excitement bubbling within each of them at the thought of crafting their tales, vibrant and uniquely their own, as their minds stirred with endless possibilities. As they each pondered their narratives, visions of whimsical subjects danced before them. One student, inspired by a previous lesson, chose to write about a cloud, specifically the captivating turkey cloud, adorned with minuscule beads reflecting sunlight. Each bead shimmered like tiny stars in the sky, a spectacle that invited readers to witness nature's gentle majesty. Another student's imagination soared as he crafted a story about bright blue lights, which cascaded around the top perimeter of their classroom walls. These lights created a surreal atmosphere, illuminating the ceiling with a soft glow reminiscent of a clear summer sky, casting enchanting shadows over their budding ideas. The stories flowed like creative streams, as another student described a cool white hue that leaned towards blue. He linked this mesmerizing shade to the shimmering beads of the turkey cloud, portraying how they might resemble a delicate snowstorm, dancing particles in a flurry of wonder. Once they finalized their pieces, the teacher, brimming with pride, began to read each story aloud. He couldn't help but smile at the delightful diversity of inspirations, noting that two of his students independently ventured into storylines about minuscule beads, each presenting a different perspective. Their collective creativity filled the room, and his heart warmed with the realization that they had grasped the essence of storytelling. With twinkling eyes, he prompted, "Why don't you all read your stories to me while marching in place?" One by one, the room resonated with the cadence of their voices, delivering tales of light and clouds. Meanwhile, a curious disruption arose from the classroom next door, where another teacher, clad in a sailor's uniform, entertained a nautical theme. The soldier teacher wondered aloud, intrigued by the rhythmic outbursts of R echoing through the wall. Driven by curiosity, he led his students to investigate, whereupon, learning that decor united under the theme, an unexpected camaraderie blossomed, connecting classrooms through creativity, even amidst their distinct differences. In a lively classroom brimming with youthful energy, a teacher donned in soldier's uniform engaged with another educator. Both were immersed in a vibrant discussion about their themes. With great pride, the soldier teacher acknowledged the nautical setting of the other teacher's classroom, though he gently urged for a tone that reflected their current task, reading intriguing tales about a mysterious cloud introduced by none other than a quirky turkey teacher. Sporting a sailor's uniform, pirate hat, and an eye patch, the second teacher responded with a warm smile. Assuredly, he assured his fellow educator, he would relay the message to his students. Energized by this agreement, the soldier teacher departed back to his own classroom, where students waited eagerly, ready to embark on their literary journey. Next door, the atmosphere shifted as the sailor teacher addressed his class, jovially reminding them to temper their excitement about their nautical theme. A chorus of nods and agreements erupted from the students, who, despite their eagerness, committed to lowering their voices in solidarity with the classroom next door. Meanwhile, the soldier teacher reveled in the focus of his captivated students. The ambience transformed, adorned with red, white, and blue lights resembling the American flag. As the lesson progressed, a peculiar spectacle unfurled before their eyes. An ethereal, cool white luminescence emerged from the floor, casting an enchanting glow that leaned towards blue. An unexpected tingling sensation filled the air, reminiscent of tiny, shimmering beads associated with the turkey teacher's imaginative lessons. Curiosity ignited among the students, prompting one to question the teacher about the mesmerizing light. The teacher, initially oblivious to the phenomenon, soon joined in on the intrigue, playfully speculating that perhaps the universe was trying to communicate with them. This whimsical thought sparked a flurry of ideas among the students. Could there be a mystical tie between the celestial mystery, their school, and the whimsical turkey teacher? Meanwhile, in the neighboring room, the sailor teacher created an oceanic breeze with a fan, but soon felt the same strange sensation of minuscule beads, akin to gentle grains of sand during a serene sandstorm. The classroom buzzed not just with excitement, but with an otherworldly essence, as both teachers and students sensed an extraordinary connection weaving through their day, suggesting that even mundane classrooms could become realms of magic when anchored in imagination. In a small classroom, a sailor teacher with a distinctive Cockney accent gazed around at his students, envisioning a grand transformation. His face, usually full of enthusiasm, grew pale as doubt momentarily clouded his thoughts. But then, he exclaimed, "Wait a minute, we could create a beach scene right here. Imagine having our own ocean lights." His eyes sparkled with excitement as the idea took form, envisioning turning the dull space into a vibrant pirate ship sailing through the imaginations of eager young minds. With newfound determination, the sailor teacher began to share his vision of a mighty pirate ship that wouldn't actually sail the seas, but would instead anchor firmly in their classroom. The students could hardly contain their excitement, shouting out suggestions and ideas, filling the air with infectious energy. "Remember, guys, keep your voices down," he reminded them gently, his accent lending a playful seriousness to the moment. One student chimed in, apologizing, "Sorry, we're just thrilled about your idea," and just like that, they got to work. Desks were transformed into the decks of a ship, with each student playing their part. The teacher's mind raced with possibilities, and soon he proposed implementing sails, suggesting, "Let's put little poles on your desks. You'll feel like you're sailing on your own ships." The students were puzzled but intrigued. How could they possibly achieve that? The teacher, beaming, reassured them, "Think about it. Your desks already resemble parts of a boat. We make this a year-long nautical adventure." As they crafted their ship, a desire to create a central mast sparked energy amongst the students. They emphatically agreed, their creative hearts beating in rhythm with their spirited imaginations. The teacher inspired them further, saying, "We'll make room for a grand pole in the center. This classroom will be our pirate haven." Meanwhile, across the hallway, a different classroom flourished with green and gold, suffused with Irish culture, where another teacher shared a cheerful camaraderie with the sailor teacher, bonding over their respective heritages. Through each interaction and shared laughter, a special connection developed, blending cultures and creativity. The sailor teacher recognized the potential of unity, where red, white, and blue could coexist alongside green and gold. Together, they crafted a collaborative project that not only celebrated their distinct backgrounds, but also nurtured imagination and adventure in their classrooms. As the students engaged in this spirited journey, they forged memories that would anchor their education with a sense of wonder and joy, ready to sail into new horizons. In a bustling school filled with excitement and curiosity, the distinct aroma of adventure clung to the air. The teacher, clad in a sharp soldier's uniform, stood proudly among his students. His unwavering demeanor reflected his commitment to instilling discipline and respect for both history and culture. Yet, amidst all this, a captivating tale from the neighboring classroom piqued his interest. The fellow teacher, adorned with the charm of a sailor, was immersing his students in a year-long journey centered around the immersive world of pirates. This unconventional approach not only promised fun, but also ignited imaginations, transporting young minds to the rolling waves of the ocean, where adventure awaited at every turn. As the soldier teacher made his way across the hall, he encountered the proudly adorned Irishman. With a twinkle of camaraderie in his eye, he observed the Irishman's classroom decked in vibrant green and gold, a celebration of his heritage. Their banter flowed easily, filled with admiration for each other's unique themes. The soldier smiled, hinting at a mysterious cloud that had a tale to be told, one that transcended their cultural backgrounds. He could sense the intrigue flickering in the Irishman's eyes, a thirst for stories that connect cultures from different corners of the world. Meanwhile, the Irishman returned to his classroom, where he could see the eager faces of his students, ready to delve into the melodies of their heritage. Bagpipes, he announced, would be their instruments of choice, distinctly Irish, replete with the joyous jigs that made their hearts dance. As they prepared to celebrate their culture through music, he made sure to intertwine decoration sessions with spirited tunes, creating an atmosphere where joy and tradition intertwined seamlessly. Little did they know, their combined energies would soon converge with the creative ripples emanating from the sailors' classroom next door. Just then, a knock at the door interrupted their jovial practice. It was the sergeant, filled with exuberance. With a contagious laugh, he recounted tales of how the sailor had transformed his classroom into a nautical wonder. Desks were now boats, and the visual allure of spotlights mirrored the brilliance of the ocean's surface. The sergeant admired the creativity sparking pride in their pirate culture, as stories, accents, and legacies from a world of seafaring enriched their educational landscape. Thus, the school became a tapestry woven with colors of history, adventure, and community, leaving lasting waves on the shores of their young hearts. In a vibrant classroom filled with the joy of music and decoration, the proud Irish teacher guided his students through the kaleidoscope of colors and sounds that accompanied their creations. The rhythm of Irish jigs and reels reverberated in the air, infusing an infectious spirit into the room. Students busily adorned their space with decorations that reflected their heritage, learning to appreciate their roots while embracing the magic of creativity. Meanwhile, a sharp-dressed Scottish teacher next door, hearing the lively tunes, was drawn by the allure of a distinct Scottish accent piercing through the laughter and chatter. The walls of his classroom were adorned with bagpipes, the iconic symbols of his culture. With a glance at his students, he decided to introduce them to the familiar and stirring sounds of traditional bagpipe music. As they began to decorate, each note danced through the air, fueling their energy and inspiration, creating a bridge between education and cultural expression. As the Scottish teacher strolled through the buzzing corridors, his students marching in unison, he couldn't help but pause at another classroom where soft sitar melodies floated into the hallway. Curiosity piqued, he stepped inside to find an Indian teacher strumming a sitar while his students immersed themselves in art and decoration. Intrigued, he asked the teacher about his approach, only to discover a fascinating combination of discipline, education, and joyous cultural immersion. The Indian teacher expressed pride in his methods, showcasing the deep-rooted traditions from his heritage. A warm conversation unfolded as they exchanged thoughts on culture and education. The Indian educator, adorned with red, white, and blue lights echoing American pride, explained his vision of creating a sandy beach aesthetic with minuscule beads, reflecting the essence of his teaching philosophy. The Scottish teacher shared his admiration for the vibrant exchange, connecting their unique experiences while appreciating the fabric of diversity within their educational environment. In this melting pot of cultures, the teachers found common ground, understanding that through passion and creativity, they could create a richer, more engaging learning experience for their students. The merging of Irish, Scottish, and Indian influences prompted them to think beyond borders, inspiring students not just to learn, but to celebrate the beauty in their differences, creating a harmonious environment of shared joy and mutual respect. In a colorful educational setting, the walls resonated with laughter and the vibrant energy of diverse cultures. The classroom, adorned with red, white, and blue lights that twinkled like stars, set the stage for connecting stories. Here, a teacher donned in a soldier's uniform found himself drawn to the enchanting conversations echoing from the adjacent classroom. Inside, he discovered an Irish teacher animatedly discussing the intricacies of creating a sand wonderland with minuscule beads, while a Scottish and an Indian teacher exchanged passionate insights about their rich traditions. Curiosity propelled the soldier-clad teacher to step across the community threshold. He approached the Indian teacher, whose deep-rooted tales of heritage were as fragrant and inviting as the spices of his homeland. The Indian educator's face lit up as he described his engaging project with students on the track, weaving cultural threads into a shared tapestry of learning. Their conversation unfolded as easily as a sitar's gentle melody, both teachers appreciating the spirit of collaboration that made their classrooms bloom with creativity. The soldier teacher smiled at the thought of witnessing a big white cloud overhead, a sign of inspiration swirling above them. Meanwhile, the Irish and Scottish teachers reveled in their own light-hearted banter about classroom activities. The soldier teacher's admiration for the rich tones of the bagpipes prompted an enthusiastic dialogue, revealing their shared commitment to fostering an appreciation for tradition among their students. Plans began to take shape, envisioning a bagpipe event that would unite the students in a harmonious celebration of their collective heritages. As the American soldier departed the scene, he felt a sense of camaraderie and excitement that transcended their differences, bridging cultural divides through music and shared experiences. In the sailor's room, a Cockney British teacher illustrated his dreams of sailing through history with colorful boats symbolizing freedom and adventure. His passion overflowed as he envisioned turning desks into vessels where students would traverse imaginary seas, fostering curiosity and bravery within youthful hearts. The soldier teacher smiled, captivated by the British educator's infectious enthusiasm. Together, they encapsulated the essence of creative teaching as they planned exchanges, promising one another to share their unique classrooms and ideas. In the tapestry of education that season, connections formed bonds that held the promise of enriched learning and lasting friendships. In the bustling halls of an eclectic school, two teachers, one clad in a soldier's uniform and the other with ties to India, engaged in a conversation that danced between cultures. The soldier teacher leaned in, curiosity lighting his eyes, and asked the Indian teacher if he had ever heard whispers about a certain Scottish instructor dreaming of creating a pipe band. Intrigued, the Indian teacher smiled and replied, "Actually, I did hear something. It's quite captivating. The Scottish teacher has always sparked my imagination." As they exchanged thoughts, the Indian teacher shared tales of another instructor, a sailor whose classroom was transformed into a magnificent pirate ship. Desks morphed into boats, and adventure floated in the air. "There was one instance," the Indian teacher reminisced, "when I spotted you, Mr. Soldier, with your students, all engaged in a boot camp-style workout, colors flying under the sky." The soldier teacher chuckled at the memory, a sentiment of camaraderie evident in his laughter. The conversation transitioned to the quieter aspects of their quarters. The Indian teacher explained how his rooms were alive with soft sitar melodies, creating an atmosphere reminiscent of the serene Ravi Shankar. "It's peaceful," he noted, a stark contrast to the loud energy found elsewhere. The soldier teacher admired this distinction. "I take it you must be the sergeant of your domain," he teased, and the Indian teacher confirmed with a knowing grin, delighting in this playful exchange. Then, a deeper insight emerged. The Indian teacher disclosed that he taught his students about different ragas on weekends, when the school quieted down. I find that weekends provide the perfect backdrop for lessons on Indian music. The students learn about instruments like the sitar and the tanpura, immersing themselves in the rich tapestry of sounds from my homeland. The soldier teacher listened intently, his heart resonating with the shared rhythms of their lives. In turn, he shared his own approach. My students listen to the symphony of nature at night, the serenade of crickets and frogs. Though I might not have a formal title, we connect through the sounds around us, fostering a unique learning environment. As the conversation wore onward, the connection between the two educators became a vibrant illustration of how music and culture could unite diverse backgrounds within the realm of education, thriving harmoniously in a colorful world of learning. In a vibrant classroom, the atmosphere was charged with enthusiasm as students passionately shared their stories. The teacher, adorned in a sharp soldier's uniform, couldn't help but admire this contagious spirit that filled the room like a warm glow. Just then, a knock echoed through the air, reminiscent of the rhythmic drums of India, drawing his attention away from the lively discussions. The Indian teacher stood at the door, his presence commanding yet welcoming as he asked if he could join. "Yes, you can," the soldier teacher replied, his smile reflecting the camaraderie of educators united in their love for learning. The Indian teacher smiled back and began to share his thoughts, speaking of the magical moments he felt while playing his sitar. "You know," he mused, "I start to feel those minuscule beads of inspiration whenever I transport my students into the world of music back in my class." The soldier teacher nodded, intrigued by how something as simple as sound could manifest into such vivid imagery. Leaning forward, he began to recount a tale of a peculiar moment involving a teacher known as the Turkey, who one morning found himself captivated by the bluish-green skylights filtering through the windows, igniting his imagination as he walked toward his classroom. As the soldier continued his story, it unfolded like a tapestry woven from individual threads of creativity. The Turkey felt fine grains of sand sifting through his room, prompting him to craft lessons that sparkled with magic and wonder. The Indian teacher, captivated by the narrative, exclaimed, "I kind of want to do something similar. My students and I could create a field of those minuscule beads, something different yet enchanting." Inspirations flowed as they exchanged ideas, conjuring images of classrooms transformed into landscapes of sound and color. The Indian proposed that as the beads drifted, they would echo the soft sounds of sugar pouring into a bowl. It would be an experience, a blend of visual and auditory pleasures that would capture the hearts of the students as they decorated their creative sanctuary. This visionary exchange filled the air with possibilities, and the soldier teacher found himself inspired by the Indian's imaginative reflections, envisioning classrooms not just as places of learning, but as realms where creativity and joy intertwine. In a classroom adorned with vibrant colors and whimsical decor, a teacher in a sharp soldier's uniform stood, listening intently to the ideas swirling around the air. His eyes sparkled with curiosity as he turned to his colleague, a teacher from India, whose enthusiasm was palpable. The soldier teacher couldn't help but engage, asking whether the Indian teacher planned to create an atmosphere that felt like walking through sand or merely a floor scattered with beads. The Indian teacher's face lit up as he shared his vision. He dreamt of crafting an environment reminiscent of a sandy beach, a sandbox where students could immerse themselves in an imaginative landscape, feeling the grains between their fingers. The soldier teacher nodded, captivated by the image, and shared his own plan. A classroom illuminated with blue lights shimmering from the ceiling and crisp white lights lining the walls, transforming the space into a winter wonderland. As their conversation flowed, laughter erupted. The Indian teacher recalled conversations overheard among their colleagues, the Irish and Scottish teachers pondering similar concepts. The soldier teacher's eyes twinkled with intrigue at the notion of a collective inspiration blooming across their classrooms, drawing parallels between their spaces and the cosmos itself. Was it merely coincidence or a shared creativity that sparked this ripple of ideas in the school? That whimsical thought sent a jolt of joy through the Indian teacher, who burst into laughter, rolling on the floor as if overcome by a wave of merriment. The soldier teacher soon joined him, both of them laughing without restraint, and the students caught the wave of joy. A cascade of tiny beads began to rain down from above, reminiscent of a sandy storm, filling the room with laughter and playful chaos. Amidst the giggles, the atmosphere shifted. Silence enveloped the room, and the Indian teacher, now more contemplative, said, "Do you hear that sound?" The soldier teacher smiled knowingly, asking for the auditory imagery conjured in the Indian teacher's mind. "It sounds like granulated sugar pouring into a bowl," he replied, his imagination dancing. The soldier teacher nodded in affirmation, relishing the shared vision. "So that's what it sounds like to you when the beads fall. I can envision it now." With that, the Indian teacher radiated joy, explaining how the sound combined with the resonating strings of his sitar would transport everyone back to Indian landscapes, wrapping them in the magic of sound and imagery. Much like their enchanting classroom,